Hello everybody, Ground back here, and this is going to be more information on the Generation Jumble, because we've been getting, like a decent amount of people voting. I think we've had like 23, submissions, like, so far, and it's going pretty well. Um, so I wanted to go over, like, a lot of the Pokemon being voted for, because, since we only have, like, 2 days left to vote for Pokemon, I decided, for those of you who haven't voted yet, I would show what some of the more popular votes are, and then just, just like, you can see, like, what the more popular Pokemon are, just cut down the roster a bit, so that we have just a much smaller, roster, I guess. I'm rambling, but, luckily, my friend AJ, he's been the one that made the original Google Doc, or literally all of them. The original where you vote, the one that was on my videos, as well as this one, which has all of the, Pokemon being voted for. So, let's just quickly go over this. Go for the Pokemon with the most amount of votes, and then I'll cut the roster from there. And also, as you can see here, red means Pokemon that you guys have submitted that I have not covered, but I will eventually, most likely. And green will be Pokemon that are already 100% confirmed to be in the Generation Jumble. Now, starting off here, we already have Annihilate. Annihilate already has gotten 5 votes. Pretty impressive. And Annihilate in Gen 1 is pretty okay, if I remember. I guess, I'll also, just go over the Pokemon's moveset. Just a very quick TLDR about what they can do. That way you can also have a better idea about which Pokemon you'd like to actually see in the Generation Jumble. Keep in mind, though, that with the actual doc, even though it will say, 10 Pokemon, that isn't actually guaranteed. For the most part, I'm going to go with the most popular Pokemon requested, but then I'm also going to try to go for the ones that, I feel like would actually make a healthy, part of the metagame. I don't want to add something that, would end up just ruining a lot of stuff. Just for this first season. For other seasons, we can make it crazy, but for now, we'll see. So Annihilate, he has Body Slam, Counter, which is literally useless on it, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Nightshade, which is decent chip. You have Rage Fist, which would be a signature move that would be allowed in Generation Jumble, because it's not too overpowered. In fact, with so many Psychic types and normal types, it's just worthless. Especially since in Gen 1 custom games, it does not grow in base power whenever you use it. It stays at 50. So, just hot garbage. It has Rock Slide, Substitute, Thunderbolt, Hyper Beam, obviously. And nothing else too relevant here, I don't think. But if there is, you can just see it. So with just 5 votes, Annihilate is one of the most requested Pokemon. If we keep going, we see some with 3 votes, but it's unfortunately not enough. And some Pokemon like Arceus and Deoxys Attack, they were brought up a few times, but this first season will be just Gen 1 OU. So we will not be going over it. Drifblim unfortunately didn't get enough votes. And with 4 votes, Dunsparce he almost makes it. But unfortunately, just not enough. Square and Zapdos and Garchomp got some, but not a lot. Gliscor also gets very close here, but unfortunately, just barely, didn't make it. Great Tusk was already confirmed, but he did get pretty close. Actually, now that I think about it, Heracross, Dunsparce, Hisuian Zoroark has 5, so he could be included. But these, ones with 4 votes, I guess we can also put in the running. Seems like there's enough of them. So going back to Dunsparce real quick. Dunsparce, was one of the more recent ones I did. He's just really overpowered, just being, that's the wrong one. I need to go over the other one, because I have not done normal Dunsparce, and that's definitely the reason why I'm not going to include him. But with Dunsparce, really overpowered. It's basically just another Snorlax, but more powerful. It has like agility, blizzard, body slam, double edge, earthquake, fire blast, flamethrower, more ice coverage, rock slide, and it also has amnesia, I'm pretty sure. Thunderbolt, yeah, it does have amnesia, and hyper beam, because, you know, it's still just a very powerful normal type. So, just another, like, a more powerful Snorlax. So there's definitely no question that it would definitely make a huge impact if it was in Gen 1 OU. But would it be fun, or would it be boring? That's up for you to decide. Personally, I don't think it would be that fun that we include for this first season. But I think it's not overpowered to where I can't consider it. Not something like, let's say, like, Deoxys Attack, which I'm pretty sure did get, like, 4 votes or 3 votes or something. So, like, that would obviously be not okay, too overpowered. Gliscor, also, like, it's sort of the opposite, where it's just nowhere near as good, but it still has stuff going on for it. So, Gliscor doesn't have most of its tools in Gen 1, but it does have Earthquake, it has, Sword Stance, Hyper Beam, Rock Slide, Agility. So, decent stuff. It doesn't look like, on the surface, anything, like, too amazing, but that's also the whole point of this series, for you to take some of the Pokemon that I've gone over, and even if I said I didn't think they would do well, for you to look at them and try to prove me wrong. So Gliscor, not a bad one. I'm pretty sure we actually did get more votes on Goodra. I have to recheck. But, or I'll do it real quick. While looking at some of the other ones, Heracross, also interesting. Changes to Gen 2 OU for a sec. Because Heracross, unfortunately, has very limited options. And for the Generation Jumble, we're still going over their original movesets. He will get Mega Horn, because that was, you know, it was a signature move for a time. But we have a Counter, Earthquake, other things you can use. Decent, Seismic Toss. And then that is pretty much just it. He does not even get Hyper Beam or Low Kick or Submission. It's very sad. But it's still interesting. Like, the idea of maybe, you know, like, Mega Horn just on its own being able to, like, do something in Gen 2. Like, I can see that happening. But who knows? But right now I'm looking at the actual votes. I could have sworn I saw Goodra, but maybe I'm wrong? And it looks like Goodra probably wouldn't have got enough anyways. So, yeah, I'm not seeing it here. I guess I must have just been seeing things. But Hisuian Zoroark. Also, I should probably just keep Dunsparce here, just so that you can actually see, like, all the Pokemon that are in the running currently. So, Zoroark, really powerful, because it has the exact same attack and speed as regular Tauros, except it has a much higher special attack, and because of that, it can just hit hard on the physical and special side. Not to mention, or a downside being that it does have, you know, much lower bulk, but also has a much better defensive typing. Not gonna bother showing you its moveset, because you can just tell from that alone that it would probably be good. Hydreigon, because of how much it's been requested, has also, been automatically included. Mega Beedrill also got some votes, but I feel weird including Megas in this. I feel like Mega should just be its own Generation Jumble at some point. And in fact, that was originally supposed to be, the first one, but I changed my mind. So, unfortunately, even though there was a lot of votes for it, Mega Beedrill won't be included here. Metagross did get 4 votes, but it is, quite frankly, one of the most overpowered things ever. Wrong tab. Metagross would have the best typing in the game by far. Not to mention, has every single move you could ever want. It has insane stats, even good special. It has agility, double edge, earthquake, explosion. It wouldn't be given Meteor Mash, because even without it, it's still, like, in the top 3, or top 4, maybe even top 3. Reflect, Rock Slide, Thunder Punch, did it Ice Punch too? And again, it has, like, 90 special, so, like, actually the same as, like, Jinx. And Hyper Beam, obviously. So it just has everything you ever want, except it resists Psychic, quad resisted actually. It also resists normal. And it has like tools to outspeed everything, to kill everything with explosion. In fact, I'm pretty sure Metagross's explosion actually might do more than Snorlax, or just a little bit below Snorlax's self-destruct. So overall, just insanely OP. So you can put that in if you want. But know that the meta will completely revolve around it. What else? Regieleki. This is actually one that I was actually kind of excited for. Regieleki in Gen 1 Ubers. In some ways, it's a little bit better. It doesn't have, what's it called? Like, Terra. However, its normal moves do become way more powerful. Because you have, the 3 best normal moves in the game. And then you have, like, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave. Thunder Cage is a trapping move. So I don't think I want to include it here. Because I feel like that could get really messy if it works correctly. And not to mention, it doesn't really need it in the first place, because even just Thunderbolt, it's already fine. So, this one could be interesting, because it only has 2 things going for it. Electric moves, and normal moves. And with its base 200 speed, it has a base 31% chance to crit, so literally the best crit rate in the entire game. However, it still gets completely walled by Rhydon, and any other ground types that may or may not be included. So, could be very interesting. So, I definitely think, it's a good contender for maybe actually showing up in the Generation Jumble. We got more Pokemon that don't get much. Skarmory is here. Skarmory is another interesting one with Gen 2. It has a very limited move pool, but also it'll be one of the few defensive Pokemon actually brought up. Because Skarmory, it would be a Steel Flying type. So interesting defensive typing, resist both Psychic and Normal. Immune to the ground, but also has no ways of really hurting anybody. Has Agility, Drill Peck, doesn't get any super good moves like Hyper Beam, does get Toxic and Rest, but outside of that, it has pretty much nothing, as you can see here. So, could potentially be used still, because just for good defensive teams, or teams where you just want to work stuff together. For example, I think Skarmory could work well with Rhydon and Chansey, because it has a high defense to help, take on, anything. But also has a steel typing to resist Psychic. So overall, even though it doesn't have many ways of hurting, it can still be good as a defensive mon, which could make it very interesting. Smeargle only has 3 votes, but I do think it's also a Pokemon worth considering, because it has literally every single move in Gen 1. Because, it's Smeargle. So, base 70 speed, or 75 speed, actually. You got Spore. You have every single trapping move, like Wrap, Clamp, Fire Spin. You have, Super Fang, Leech Seed, every healing move you ever want, Psychic, or just literally everything. So, it could be very interesting if you want to go over it. 3 votes, I guess 3 votes can also potentially win, but also it's still very unlikely. But for Smeargle exactly, you can probably make an exception, since Smeargle, I feel like people just keep forgetting I made a Smeargle video, because when I made it, it was only a minute long, and I did a horrible job actually going over how good it would actually be in Gen 1. So that's the only real reason why I'm giving it a pass, even though it barely doesn't really get enough votes. Terrakion, because it was the main Pokemon requested by, I would argue, is potentially my most loyal subscriber. And you know who I'm talking about. Thank you for everything you've done. And because he had to wait a long time, I decided he'll just get a free pass. Same with Hydreigon for just being the most requested Pokemon I've gotten in the past 2 weeks. Not to mention, Terrakion could be a good example of a fighting type. So just a good way of just demonstrating what this whole series is really going to be about. So yeah. I don't know who wanted Toadscruel. Or actually, that's not entirely true. I know who voted for what. So I know who you are. And if you wanted Toadscruel in Gen 1, you should be ashamed of yourself. There is no excuses. Alright, now getting on. Volcarona, nothing too interesting. And no one voted for Ursaluna, which, like, thank God. This is Wishy-Washy from Tenyu, so I'm just gonna be funny and say this is base form Wishy-Washy, not school form. If you want to vote for that, go ahead. And then the rest of these are Pokemon that I have not... Pokemon have either not gone over, or just like... Yep. Charizard. Or someone voted Typhlosion. I'm assuming they made Hisui. It was only like one vote though, so it wouldn't work anyways. But freaking Charizard and Dugtrio. I don't know, like, I don't remember who voted for Dugtrio to be added to Gen 1 OU, but I freaking love you, man. I love you so much. Never change. Please. Please never change. But yeah, here are your candidates. We got, some here. Now, I'm gonna stop you right now. I do think that these three in particular, I'm gonna say will most likely be a little too good. So these three, I'm sorry, I am just gonna remove right now. So that leaves 6. We got Regieleki, Skarmory, Smeargle, Annihilape, Gliscor, Heracross, and then Hydreigon, Terrakion, and Great Tusk are already confirmed. You now have 6 Pokemon that, like, will be most likely for you most likely to actually make it in. So vote now. The description will be you know, or the description. The link will be in the description below. And we now have, you know, some interesting Pokemon to go over. You can vote for something else if you want, but I do think at this point with only 2 days left, it's highly unlikely that we'll be able to get enough votes to where, like, something else could make it in. But if you're a mad lad, you can try voting for something else if you want. But these 6 right here are the most likely. So be sure to vote, and I'll see you guys later.